Hi, I'm Anthony Marinelli, and I thought today would be a day to show you something fun, a very familiar intro. It's an iconic intro, and it was something that Eddie Van Halen played on a keyboard. And so, I learned this, not long ago. I learned it more recently, that he was a keyboard player. He learned to play piano, and he was a classical pianist. He played Mozart, and quite accomplished, and he picked up the guitar a little bit later. So him grabbing a keyboard, a synth to play an intro on a song was really something easy for him. And I think he even wrote some songs on piano, like starting with the piano. So we think of him as such a great guitar player, and he's very talented in a lot of ways. And I did have a chance to work with him, with Giorgio Moroder, on the movie Over the Top, and he played bass on the song because the record company wouldn't allow him to play guitar. There were limitations, and he wanted to do it, so he jumped in and played bass, and a lot of enthusiasm working with him. So it's his intro on synthesizer, and I'm going to show you on the OBX, which is not the exact synth that he used. He used the OBX-A. It's the next iteration that came out of Oberheim after the OBX. And the OBX is a little bit simpler synth. The OBX-A has more routing possibilities. So you can do this sound on almost anything. If you have two oscillators and a resonant filter, which you're going to have on anything, and an envelope generator or two. So let me show you how it's comprised. There's two sawtooth waves. You can see them right here, and they're at equal level. Oscillator 1 and oscillator 2, see how it says full here? So they're at equal level. And then I'm not even using much initial filter frequency. You can hear how much there is. About halfway. And most of the sound is coming from the modulation amount of the ADSR envelope generator modulating this VCF. So that's just the initial filter frequency with no ADSR modulation. Now as I add it, you hear it's giving it some pop, and I go full amount. So I'm going to go to the ADSR and show you what's going on there. If I bring the sustain level down, you can hear there's just a little bit of slowness to the attack. That's very quick. Just a little bit, that's quick again. A little bit. And then kind of a short decay. See how it just kind of stops there? So that gives it a little bit of bite, but it's mostly sustain. But you need that. That's key to the sound. And then what's going on in the VCA envelope is kind of similar. There's no attack time. It's very quick. A little bit of decay time, just like in the filter envelope. And then full sustain. So that's the full sound with the detuned oscillators. Now I'll show you what they sound like even more detuned. Too much, right? So you have to get it just right, but I want you to hear what it sounds like in tune. Not so awesome. So getting them just right, probably too much there. You hear that warble? And there you have it. So the key to getting this sound right, starting with two sawtooth waveforms, equal level in the filter, no resonance, get the modulation depth of the ADSR envelope right by turning it all the way up, and then adding a little bit of initial filter frequency. The shape of the envelope generator is just a little bit of attack, so there's some bite. Slightly slow down the attack time, and then full sustain. And then in the VCA, same type of thing. Decay, and then add the sustain to it. So you get a little bit of bite and nice sustain. And that's all there is to the sound. So try to recreate this on many different synths and see what you come up with. The Oberheim has a certain characteristic that when you make the filter brighter or when you add resonance to it, then it doesn't get thinner. But this sound shouldn't matter too much because there's no resonance to the sound. So it should be recreatable on almost any synthesizer, but get that detune right, and then that'll give you sort of what we think of as the Oberheim sound, which a lot of people get by using pulse width modulation. This sound doesn't have that. It's just getting the detune right. So I noticed the original Van Halen sound probably had a little bit of compression, EQ, tape, and reverb on it. And we did a few things using a plug-in and then some hardware, and then finally threw some Valhalla reverb on there at the end. So feel free to do that because it does help. A lot of synths just straight out of the box, you know, benefit a ton from effects. I think synths and effects, they belong together. So please remember to like and subscribe. We want to make more of these videos, and I have a great team. We enjoy doing it. It'll keep us going. And we'll see you next time. Enjoy making this sound. It's a fun one. And please try it on all your different synths, and I'm curious of what kind of results you get if you feel like you can nail it. And remember, the detune is essential.